Alrighty. Back again. Day 88. No. A little bit late, so I'm not quite ready. Alrighty. That over there. Okay, put this over here. Alright. Grab the book. Let's get into it. We're back to it. Reading the Iliad and the Odyssey by the great Homer. We all love Homer. You're lying if you say you don't like Homer. Everyone loves him. It's just the way it is. Here we go. The great book. Alrighty. Where the hell am I? Somewhere on here. We'll go somewhere around here. I know it was around here. Alright. The sire of gods and men smiled and answered, "If you, Hera, were always to support me when we sit in council of the gods, Poseidon, like it or no, would soon come round to your and my way of thinking. If then you are speaking the truth and mean what you say, go among the rank and file of the gods and tell Iris and Apollo, Lord of the Bow, that I want him. Iris, that she may go to the Achaean host and tell Poseidon to leave off fighting and go home, and Apollo, that he may send Hector again into battle and give him fresh strength. He will thus forget his present sufferings, and drive the Achaeans back in confusion till they fall among the ships of Achilles, son of Peleus. Achilles will then send his comrade Patroclus into battle, and Hector will kill him in front of Ilium after he has slain many warriors, and among them my own noble son Sarpedon. Achilles will kill Hector to avenge Patroclus, and from that time I will bring it about that the Achaeans shall persistently drive the Trojans back till they fulfill the counsels of Athene and take Ilium. But I will not stay my anger, nor permit any god to help the Danaans till I have accomplished the desire of the son of Peleus, according to the promises I made by bowing my head on the day when Thetis touched my knees and besought me to give him honour." Hera heeded his words and went from the heights of Ida to great Olympus, swift as though of one of the whose fancy carries him over vast continents, and he says to himself, "Now I will be here or there," and he would have all manner of things. Even so swiftly did Hera wing her way till she came to high Olympus and went in among the gods who had gathered in the house of Zeus. When she saw her, they all of them came up to her and held out their cups to her by way of greeting. Ugh. What's going on? She let the others be, but took the cup offered her by lovely Themis, who was first to come running up to her. Hera, said she, why are you here? And you seem troubled. Has your husband, the son of Cronus, been frightening you? And Hera answered, Themis, do not ask me about it. You know what a proud and cruel disposition my husband has. Lead the gods to table, where you and all the immortals can hear the wicked designs which he has avowed. Many a one, mortal and immortal, will be angered by them, however peaceably he may be feasting now. On this Hera sat down, and the gods were troubled throughout the house of Zeus. Laughter sat on her lips, but her brow was furrowed with care, and she spoke up in a rage. Fools that we are, she cried, to be thus madly angry with Zeus. We keep on wanting to go up to him and stay him by force or by persuasion, but he sits aloof and cares for nobody, for he knows that he is much stronger than any other of the immortals. Make the best, therefore, of whatever ills he may choose to send each one of you. Ares, I take it, has had a taste of them already, for his son Asclepius has fallen in battle, the man whom of all others he loved most dearly and whose father he owns himself to be. When he heard this, Ares smote his two sturdy thighs with the flat of his hands and said in anger, Do not blame me, you gods that dwell in heaven, if I go to the ships of the Achaeans and avenge the death of my son, even though it end in my being struck by Zeus's lightning and lying in blood and dust among the corpses. As he spoke, he gave orders to yoke his horses, panic and rout, while he put on his armor. On this, Zeus would have been roused to still more fierce and implacable enmity against the other immortals, had not Athene, alarmed for the safety of the gods, sprung from her seat and hurried outside. She tore the helmet from his head and the shield from his shoulders, and she took the bronze spear from his strong hands and set it on one side. Then she said to Ares, Madman, you are undone. You have ears that hear not, or you have lost all judgment and understanding. Have you not heard what Hera has said on coming straight from the presence of Olympian Zeus? Do you wish to go through all kinds of suffering before you are brought back sick and sorry to Olympus, after having caused infinite mischief to all us others? Zeus would instantly leave the Trojans and Achaeans to themselves. He would come to Olympus to punish us, and would grip us up one after another, guilty or not guilty. Therefore lay aside your anger for the death of your son. Better men than he have either been killed already or will fall hereafter, and one cannot protect everyone's whole family. With these words, she took Ares back to his seat. Meanwhile, Hera called Apollo outside, with Iris the messenger of the gods. Zeus, she said to them, desires you to go to him at once on Mount Ida. When you have seen him, you are to do as he may then bid you. Thereon Hera left them and resumed her seat inside, while Iris and Apollo made all haste on their way. When they reached many-founted Ida, mother of wild beasts, they found Zeus seated on topmost Gargarus with a fragrant cloud encircling his head as with a diadem. They stood before his presence, and he was pleased with them for having been so quick in obeying the orders his wife had given them. He spoke to Iris first. Go, said he. Fleet Iris, tell King Poseidon what I now bid you, and tell him true. Bid him leave off fighting, and either join the company of the gods, or go down into the sea. If he takes no heed and disobeys me, let him consider well whether he is strong enough to hold his own against me if I attack him. I am older and much stronger than he is, yet he is not afraid to set himself up as on higher level with myself, of whom all the other gods stand in awe. Iris, fleet as the wind, obeyed him, and as the cold hail or snowflakes that fly from out the clouds before the blast of Boreas, even so did she wing her way till she came close up to the great shaker of the earth. Then she said, I have come, O dark-haired king that holds the world in his embrace, to bring you a message from Zeus. He bids you leave off fighting, and either join the company of the gods, or go down into the sea. If, however, you take no heed and disobey him, he says he will come down here and fight you. He would have you keep out of his reach, for he is older and much stronger than you are, and yet you are not afraid to set yourself up as on a level with himself, of whom all the other gods stand in awe. Poseidon was very angry and said, Great heavens, strong as Zeus may be, he has said more than he can do if he has threatened violence against me, who am of like honour with himself. We were 3 brothers, whom Rhea bore to Cronus, Zeus, myself, and Hades, who rules the world below. Heaven and earth were divided into 3 parts, and each of us was to have an equal share. When we cast lots, it fell to me to have my dwelling in the sea forevermore. Hades took the darkness of the realms under the earth, while air and sky and clouds were the portion that fell to Zeus. But earth and great Olympus are the common property of all. Therefore I will not walk as Zeus would have me. For all his strength let him keep to his own third share, and be contented without threatening to lay hands upon me, as though I were nobody. Let him keep his bragging talk for his own sons and daughters, who must perforce obey him. Iris, fleet as the wind, then answered, Am I really, Poseidon, to take this daring and unyielding message to Zeus, or will you reconsider your answer? Sensible people are open to argument, and you know that the Erinyes always range themselves on the side of the older person. Poseidon answered, Goddess Iris, your words have been spoken in season. It is well when a messenger shows so much discretion. Nevertheless, it cuts me to the very heart that anyone should rebuke so angrily another who is his own peer, and of like empire with himself. Now, however, I will give way in spite of my displeasure. Furthermore, let me tell you, and I mean what I say, if contrary to the desire of myself, Athene, driver of the spoil, Hera, Hermes, and King Hephaestus, Zeus spares steep Ilium, and will not let the Achaeans have the great triumph of sacking it. Let him understand that he will incur our implacable resentment. Poseidon now left the field to go down under the sea, and sorely did the Achaeans miss him. Then Zeus said to Apollo, Go, dear Phoebus, to Hector, for Poseidon, who holds the earth in his embrace, has now gone down under the sea to avoid the severity of my displeasure. Had he not done so, those gods who are below with Cronus would have come to hear of the fight between us. It is better for both of us that he should have curbed his anger and kept out of my reach, for I should have had much trouble with him. Yeah, I need that. Yep. Thank you. Take then your tasseled, what is it? The fuck? Your tasseled aegis, and shake it furiously, so as to set the Achaean heroes in a panic. Take, moreover, brave Hector, O far darter, into your own care, and rouse him to deeds of daring, till the Achaeans are sent flying back to their ships and to the Hellespont. From that point I will think it well over, how the Achaeans may have a respite from their troubles. Apollo obeyed his father saying, and left the crests of Ida, flying like a falcon, bane of doves and swiftest of all birds. He found Hector no longer lying upon the ground, but sitting up, for he had just come to himself again. He knew those who were about him, and the sweat and hard breathing had left him from the moment when the will of aegis-bearing Zeus had revived him. Apollo stood beside him and said, Hector, son of Priam, why are you so faint, and why are you here away from the others? Has any mishap befallen you? Hector in a weak voice answered, And which kind, sir, of the gods are you, who now ask me thus? Do you not know that Ajax struck me on the chest with a stone as I was killing his comrades at the ships of the Achaeans, and compelled me to leave off fighting? I made sure that this very day I should breathe my last and go down into the house of Hades. Then King Apollo said to him, Take heart, the son of Cronus has sent you a mighty helper from Ida, to stand by you and defend you. Even me, Phoebus Apollo of the golden sword, who have been guardian hitherto, not only of yourself, but of your city. Now therefore, order your horsemen to drive their chariots to the ships in great multitudes. I will go before your horses to smooth the way for them, and will turn the Achaeans in flight. As he spoke, he infused great strength into the shepherd of his people, and as a horse, stabled and full fed, breaks loose and gallops gloriously over the plain to the place where he is wont to take his bath in the river, he tosses his head, and his mane streams over his shoulders, as in all the pride of his strength he flies full speed to the pastures where the mares are feeding. Even so Hector, when he heard what the gods said, urged his horsemen on, and sped forward as fast as his limbs could take him. As country peasants set their hounds on to a horned stag or wild goat, he has taken shelter under rock or thicket, and they cannot find him. But lo, a bearded lion whom their shouts have roused stands in their path, and they are in no further humour for their chase. Even so the Achaeans were still charging in on a body, using their swords and spears pointed at both ends. But when they saw Hector going about among his men, they were afraid, and their hearts fell down into their feet. Then spoke Thoas, son of Adrameon, leader of the Aetolians, a man who could throw a good throw, and who was staunch also in close fight, while few could surpass him in debate when opinions were divided. He then, with all sincerity and goodwill, addressed them thus. What, in heaven's name, do I now see? Is it not Hector come to life again? Everyone made sure he had been killed by Ajax, son of Telamon, but it seems that one of the gods has again rescued him. He has killed many of us Danans already, and I take it will yet do so, for the hand of Zeus must be with him, or he would never dare show himself so masterful in the forefront of the battle. Now therefore let us all do as I say. Let us order the main body of our forces to fall back upon the ships. But let those of us who profess to be the flower of the army stand firm, and see whether we cannot hold Hector back at the point of our spears as soon as he comes near us. I conceive that he will then think better of it before he tries to charge into the press of the Danans. Thus did he speak, and they did even as he had said. Those who were about Ajax and King Idomeneus, the followers moreover of Chusa, Meriones, and Meges, peer of Ares, called all their best men about them, and sustained the fight against Hector and the Trojans. But the main body fell back upon the ships of the Achaeans. The Trojans pressed forward in a dense body, with Hector striding on at their head. Before him went Phoebus Apollo, shrouded in cloud about his shoulders. He bore aloft the terrible Aegis with its shaggy fringe, which Hephaestus the smith had given Zeus to strike terror into the hearts of men. With this in his hand he led on the Trojans. The Argives held together and stood their ground. The cry of battle rose high from either side, and the arrows flew from the bowstrings. Many a spear sped from strong hands and fastened in the bodies of many a valiant warrior, while others fell to earth midway, before they could taste of man's fair flesh and gut themselves with blood. So long as Phoebus Apollo held his Aegis quietly and without shaking it, the weapons on either side took effect and the people fell. But when he shook it straight in the face of the Danans and raised his mighty battle cry, their hearts fainted within them, and they forgot their former prowess. As when two wild beasts spring in the dead of night on a herd of cattle or a large flock of sheep when the herdsman is not there, even so were the Danans struck helpless. For Apollo filled them with panic and gave victory to Hector and the Trojans. Ugh. The fight then became more scattered, and they killed one another where they best could. Hector killed Stichius, and I don't know, Arcesilas, the one leader of the Boeotians, and the other friend and comrade of Menestheus. I love how they shove all these stupid names together. And Menestheus. Aeneas killed Medon and Iasus. The first was bastard son of Oileus and brother to Ajax, but he lived in Phylace, away from his own country, for he had killed a man, a kinsman of his stepmother Eriopus, from whom Oileus had married. Iasus became a leader of the Athenians, and was the son of Sphelus, the son of Bocolus. Polydamon. Fuck this part. We're just going to ignore this part. I'm going to read it quietly. There we go. Paris struck Diacus from behind in the lower part of the shoulder as he was flying among the foremost, and the point of the spear went clean through him. All these useless fucking names. While they were spoiling these heroes of their armour, the Achaeans were flying pell-mell to the trench and the set stakes, and were forced back within their wall. Hector then cried out to the Trojans, "Forward to the ships, and let the spoils be. If I see any man keeping back on the other side of the wall away from the ships, I will have him killed. His kinsmen and kinswomen shall not give him his dues of fire, but dogs shall tear him in pieces in front of our city." As he spoke, he laid his whip about his horse's shoulders and called to the Trojans throughout their ranks. The Trojans shouted with a cry that rent the air, and kept their horses neck and neck with their own. Phoebus Apollo went before, and kicked down the banks of the deep trench into its middle so as to make a great broad bridge, as broad as the throw of a spear when a man is trying his strength. The Trojan battalions poured over the bridge, and Apollo with his redoubtable Aegis led the way. He kicked down the wall of the Achaeans as easily as a child who, playing on the seashore, has built a house of sand, and then kicks it down again and destroys it. Even so did you, O Apollo, shed toil and trouble upon the Argives, filling them with panic and confusion. Thus, then, when the Achaeans hemmed in at their ships, calling out to one another, and raising their hands with loud cries every man to heaven, Nestor of Gerene, tower of strength to the Achaeans, lifted up his hands to the starry firmament of heaven, and prayed more fervently than any of them. "Father Zeus," said he, "if ever anyone in wheat-growing Argos burned you fat thigh-bones of sheep or heifer and prayed that he might return safely home, whereon you bowed your head to him in assent, bear it in mind now, and suffer not the Trojans to triumph thus over the Achaeans." What's going on? More reading, mate. The usual. What about you? What's going on? All counselling Zeus thundered loudly in answer to the prayer of the aged son of Neleus. When the Trojans heard Zeus thunder, they flung themselves yet more fiercely on the Achaeans, as a wave breaking over the bulwarks of a ship when the sea runs high before a gale, for it is the force of the wind that makes the wave so great. Even so did the Trojans spring over the wall with a shout, and drive their chariots onwards. The two sides fought with their double-pointed spears in hand-to-hand encounter, the Trojans from their chariots, and the Achaeans climbing up into their ships and wielding the long pikes that were lying on the decks, ready for use in a sea fight, jointed and shod with bronze. Now Patroclus, so long as the Achaeans and Trojans were fighting about the wall, but were not yet within it and at the ships, remained sitting in the tent of good Eurypylus, but entertaining him with his conversation and spreading herbs over his wound to ease his pain. When, however, he saw the Trojans swarming through the breach in the wall, while the Achaeans were clamouring and struck with panic, he cried aloud, and smote his two thighs with the flat of his hand. Eurypylus, said he in his dismay, I know you want me badly, but I cannot stay with you any longer, for there is hard fighting going on. A servant shall take care of you now, for I must make all speed to Achilles, and induce him to fight if I can. Who knows, but with heaven's help I may persuade him. A man does well to listen to the advice of a friend. Something happened crazy with you? What are you talking about? I found gold bar side of the road. Are you for real? You actually found a gold bar? Yeah. Go on, tell me more. When he had thus spoken, he went his way. The Achaeans stood firm and resisted the attack of the Trojans. Yet, though these were fewer in number, they could not drive them back from the ships. Neither could the Trojans break the Achaean ranks and make their way in among the tents and ships. As a carpenter's line gives a true edge to a piece of ship's timber in the hand of some skilled workman whom Athene had instructed in all kinds of useful arts, even so level was the issue of the fight between the two sides as they fought, some round one ship and some round another. Hector made straight for Ajax, and the two fought fiercely about the same ship. Hector could not force Ajax back and fire the ship, nor yet could Ajax drive Hector from the spot to which heaven had brought him. Then Ajax struck Caletor, son of Clydius, in the chest with a spear as he was bringing fire towards the ship. He fell heavily to the ground, and the torch dropped from his hand. When Hector saw his cousin fallen in front of the ship, he shouted to the Trojans and Lycians, saying, Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanians, good in close fight, bait not a jot, but rescue the son of Clydius, lest the Achaeans strip him of his armour now that he has fallen. The big one. What? What do you mean? Oh, I'm extra lispy tonight. This is hard. What big one? What are you talking about? That's funny. He then aimed a spear at Ajax and missed him, but he hit Lycophron, a follower of Ajax, who came from the Cythera, but was living with Ajax, inasmuch as he had killed a man among the Cytherians. Hector's spear struck him on the head, below the ear, and he fell headlong from the ship's prow onto the ground with no life left in him. Ajax shook with rage and said to his brother, Teucer, my good fellow, our trusty comrade, the son of Mastor, has fallen. He who came to live with us from Cythera and whom we honoured as much as our own parents. Hector has just killed him. Fetch your deadly arrows at once and the bow which Phoebus Apollo gave you. Big gold bar. Send a picture of it, bro. Send it to the Discord. Teucer heard him and hastened towards him with his bow and quiver in his hands. Forthwith he showered his arrows on the Trojans and hit Clytus. Maybe you'll get... Yeah, I want to see it, yeah. Hit Cletus, the son of Pycina, comrade of Polydamas, the noble son of Panthos, with the reins in his hands as he was attending to his horses. He was in the middle of the very thickest part of the fight, doing good service to Hector and the Trojans, but evil had now come upon him, and not one of those who were fain to do so could avert it, for the arrow struck him on the back of the neck. He fell from his chariot, and his horses shook the empty car as they swerved aside. King Polydamas saw what had happened and was the first to come up to the horses. He gave them in charge to these fucking names, Astanaus, son of who knows, and ordered him to look on and to keep the horses near at hand. He then went back and took his place in the front ranks. Teucer then aimed another arrow at Hector, and there would have been no more fighting at the ships if he had hit him and killed him then and there. Zeus, however, who kept watch over Hector, had his eyes on Teucer, and deprived him of his triumph for breaking his bowstring from him, just as he was drawing it and about to take his aim. On this the arrow went astray, and the bow fell from his hands. Teucer shook with anger and said to his brother, Alas, see how heaven thwarts us in all we do. It has broken my bowstring and snatched the bow from my hand, though I strung it this selfsame morning that it might serve me for many an arrow. Ajax, son of Telamon, answered, My good fellow, let your bow and your arrows be, for Zeus has made them useless in order to spite the Danaans. Take your spear, lay your shield upon your shoulder, and both fight the Trojans yourself, and urge others to do so. They may be successful for the moment, but if we fight as we ought, they will find it a hard matter to take the ships. So tonight, connect your dream with my dream. There you can see it. Oh, you found a dream on the side of the road. Was it like Inception? Is that where you found the gold bar? Were you wandering the streets and you found it that way? Perhaps. Teucer then took his bow and put it by in his tent. He hung a shield 4 hides thick about his shoulders, and on his comely head he set his helmet well wrought with a crest of horsehair that nodded menacingly above it. He grasped his redoubtable bronze-shod spear, and forthwith he was by the side of Ajax. When Hector saw that Teucer's bow was of no more use to him, he shouted out to the Trojans and Lycians, Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanians good in close fight, be men, my friends, and show your mettle here at the ships, for I see the weapon of one of their chieftains made useless by the hand of Zeus. It is easy to see when Zeus is helping people and means to help them still further, or again when he is bringing them down and will do nothing for them. He is now on our side and is going against the Argives. Therefore swarm round the ships and fight. If any of you is struck by spear or sword and loses his life, let him die. He dies with honour who dies fighting for his country, and he will leave his wife and children safe behind him, with his house and allotment unplundered if only the Achaeans can be driven back to their own land, they and their ships. These words he put heart and soul into them all. Ajax on the other side exhorted his comrades, saying, Shame on you, Argives. We are now utterly undone, unless we can save ourselves by driving the enemy from our ships. Do you think, if Hector takes them, that you will be able to get home by land? Can you not hear him cheering on his whole host to fire our fleet, and bidding them remember that they are not at a dance but in battle? Our only course is to fight with them, might and main. We had better chance it, life or death, once and for all, than fight long and without issue hemmed in at our ships by worse men than ourselves. What crazy things you see in your dreams. Oh, the mind's a scary place, mate. I see death. That's what I see. Lots of death. And lots of blood. That's what's been going on in my mind. Destruction. Unfortunately, I haven't been dreaming of gold bars or anything like that. When Hector saw that Teucer's bow was of no more use to him. Yeah, hold on, I said that. With these words, he put life and soul into them all. Hector then killed... Who knows? Fuck knows. Son of Perimedes, leader of the who God knows, and Ajax killed some other cunt, captain of foot soldiers and son to Antenna. Polydamas killed Otus of Cyllene, a comrade of the son of Phyleus and chief of the proud people of fucking Epeans. When Meges saw this, he sprang upon him, but Polydamas crouched down, and he missed him. For Apollo would not suffer the son of Panthos to fall in battle, but the spear here, maybe it's because I'm reading these stories. Chrosamus in the middle of his chest, whereon he fell heavily to the ground, and Meges stripped him of his armour. At that moment the valiant soldier Dolops, son of Lampus, sprang upon him. Lampus was son of some other cunt, and noted for his valour, while his son Dolops was versed in all the ways of war. He then struck the middle of the son of Phyleus' shield with his spear, setting on him at close quarters, but his good corslet, made with plates of metal, saved him. Phyleus had brought it from Ephyra and the river... And the river Celius, where his host, King Euphedes, had given it to him to wear in battle and protect him. It now served to save the life of his son. Then Meges struck the topmost crest of Dolop's bronze helmet with his spear and tore away its plume of horsehair, so that all newly dyed was scarlet as it was tumbled down into the dust. While he was still fighting and confident of victory, Menelaus came up to help Meges and got by the side of Dolops unperceived. He then speared him in the shoulder from behind, and the point, driven so furiously, went through into his chest, whereon he fell headlong. The two then made towards him to strip him of his armor, but Hector called on all his brothers for help, and he especially upbraided brave Melanippus. What the fuck? Melanippus, son of Hictation, who erewhile used to pasture his herd of cattle in Percote before the war broke out, but when the ships of the Danans came, he went back to Ilium, where he was eminent among the Trojans, and lived near Priam, who treated him as one of his own sons. Hector now rebuked him and said, "Why, Melanippus, are we thus remiss? Do you take no note of the death of your kinsmen, and do you not see how they are trying to take Dolop's armor?" Oh, here we go. It's just fucked me up, all these names. Ugh. I thought Old English was hard. This is like half Old English. And a whole bunch of shitty names. One time I see myself in form of God and creating the universe. See, I wish I had dreams like that. That would be nice. Melanippus. Yep, where is it? They're trying to take Dolop's armor. Follow me. There must be no fighting the Argives from a distance now. But we must do so in close combat, till either we kill them or they take the high wall of Ilium and slay her people. He led on as he spoke, and the hero Melanippus followed after. Meanwhile, Ajax, son of Telamon, was cheering on the Argives. "My friends," he cried, "be men, and fear dishonor. Quit yourselves in battle so as to win respect from one another. Men who respect each other's good opinion are less likely to be killed than those who do not. But in flight there is neither gain nor glory." Thus did he exhort men who were already bent upon driving back the Trojans. They laid his words to heart and hedged the ships as with a wall of bronze, while Zeus urged on the Trojans. Ugh. This is super hard tonight. Menelaus of the loud battle cry urged Antilochus on. "Antilochus," said he, "you are young, and there is none of the Achaeans more fleet of foot or more valiant than you are. See if you cannot spring upon some Trojans and kill him." He hurried away when he had thus spurred Antilochus, who at once darted out from the front ranks and aimed a spear. After looking carefully around him, the Trojans fell back as he threw, and the dart did not speed from his hand without effect, for it struck Melanippus. Fucking hell. For it struck Melanippus, the proud son of Hication. Oh, fuck. His hand, maybe I should just read this quietly tonight. In the breast by the nipple as he was coming forward, and his armor rang, rattling round him as he fell heavily to the ground. Antilochus sprang upon him as a dog springs on a fawn which a hunter has hit as it was breaking away from its his covert, and killed it. Even so, O Melanippus. This should be the name of this stream tonight, Melanippus. Did stalwart Antilochus spring upon you to strip you of your armor? But noble Hector marked him, and came running up to him through the thick of the battle. Antilochus, brave soldier though he was, would not stay to face him, but fled like some savage creature who knows it has done wrong, and flies when it has killed a dog or a man who is herding his cattle, before a body of men can be gathered to attack it. Even so did the son of Nestor fly, and the Trojans and Hector, with a cry that rent the air, showered their weapons after him, nor did he turn round and stay his flight till he had reached his comrades. The Trojans, fierce as lions, were still rushing on towards the ships in fulfillment of the behests of Zeus, who kept spurring them on to new deeds of daring, while he deadened the courage of the Argives and defeated them by encouraging the Trojans. For he meant giving glory to Hector, son of Priam, and letting him throw fire upon the ships, till he had fulfilled the unrighteous prayer that Thetis had made him. Zeus, therefore, bided his time till he should see the glare of blazing ship. From that hour he was about to so order it, that the Trojans should be driven back from the ships, and to vouchsafe glory to the Achaeans. Of this purpose he inspired Hector, son of Priam, who was eager enough already to sail the ships. His fury was that of Ares, or as when a fire is raging in the glades of some dense forest upon the mountains. He foamed at the mouth. His eyes glared under his terrible eyebrows, and his helmet quivered on his temples by reason of the fury with which he fought. Zeus from heaven was with him, and though he was but one against the many, vouchsafed him victory and glory, for he was doomed to an earthly death. Oh, fuck, I'm just pronouncing everything wrong. It's so doing heaven. No, it's a shitty light or what it is. For he was doomed to an early death. And already Pallas Athene was hurrying on the hour of his destruction at the hands of the son of Peleus. Now, however, he kept trying to break the ranks of the enemy, wherever he could see them thickest, and in the goodliest armour. But do what he might, he could not break through them, for they stood as a tower foursquare, or as some high cliff rising from the grey sea that braves the anger of the gale, and of the waves that thunder up against it. He fell upon them like flames of fire from every quarter. Poof. Glad that one's over tonight. No, I didn't know a shit.
Still got through it those.
No, I'll get through it no matter what. I should have read that quiet. Rough. Rough. Like a dog. What if the life we're living is just a dream? And what if our dreams are real in the way that they do happen? Because, you know what I mean? Dreams are kind of real. In the way that you do have dreams. Where did you put the thing?
What?
Long part of the rest of my arm on.
In the side. Reach around.
You keep moving shit on me.
You wanted water, didn't you?
Yeah,
That was in the way.
if you reckon.
It was on the side. I moved it when I put it down.
Lol. Very lol.
Where's picking on me?
I'm very tired today for some reason. Going to bed late, I think I might have done that.
You were up pretty late.
Maybe I'm catching something. I'm not feeling good. Alright, let's try again. What if Queen just a dream person like a Fight Club movie? Then my kids would have to be a dream too, wouldn't they? I'm pretty sure she's real. It doesn't work like that. What if you are a dream person for Queen? She would probably agree with that.
You are my dream come true.
I am her dream man. That's why we got married. It's exactly why we got married. Where do you think we go when we die, Kushtad? What if you are just computer programming like Matrix? Well, that would be funny. Then we're designed very strangely, aren't we? A lot of people have a lot of bugs. The computer program does not run flawless, that's for sure. If anything, it is nothing but flawed. We are computer programming, you guys are NCP, and I am main character. Ha! Yeah. That's why I'm doing the 1,000-day challenge, bro. We'll see. We'll see what this NPC does, or NCP as you say. We should all be the main character. We're all the main character in our own programming in that way though. We have to be. You're the main character of your game. I'm the main character of mine. It's just the way it is. What if I am the programmer? Lol. Then fix the bugs. Fix the glitches. Update the new version. Because some things went horribly wrong. That mean I'm God. Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. I know. I know exactly what you mean. You're a funny guy. If the world gonna end after 1 month, what are you gonna do for 1 month? I don't know. I wouldn't even give a shit. What would you do, Kushtub? I'd just spend time with my family. That's all I'd do. If I knew there was only a month left, I guess. That's all I'd do. Spend time with the most important people. long-term goals and dreams like that would just disappear and fall apart, like, you know, like they're all futile in the end anyway, to a degree. So I just spend time with family. Yep. But it's a good answer. What's your answer, Kushtab? I'm gonna do jump into a black hole. That'll slow things down for you. Doesn't time get warped the closer you get to one? Time gets slow as a perspective, but Earth but normal as a perspective of black hole. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on your perspective. True. We are thinking we meet in real life, but what if we both were just programming and you were just programming? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about shit like that. I just breathe in the air. I look up and I'll feel the sun on a warm day, or I'll feel the cold air on a cold day, and I'll feel what's under my feet and within my grasp, and I'll be grounded in reality, mate. And I'll just keep doing what needs to be done and beating myself up when I don't. And I'll keep training and doing shit and really not giving two shits about whether I'm programming or not, to be fair. That's the way I'm programmed. So I'm in a sentimental mood today.
Oh, you're funny guy, funny guy.
Not usually like this. A little bit emotional today. Feeling like I could have done more, I think. This is what happens. Like, I watched like Barky. You know what I mean? And then I'm like regretting watching it because I feel like I should have spent that time doing other shit. But then I don't really have regrets at the same time either. I just feel like I can't do everything that I need to do, like, sometimes. I think my mind has to stop thinking. I don't know where the thoughts come from. True, that's just the way you're programmed, brother. Thinking is good. But doing is better. Make sure to do lots of things too. Thoughts come from idle hands, I believe. So make sure you're doing stuff. When you do stuff, you occupy, the brain doesn't have time to think, it just gets engaged in the activity. You have to train too now. You gotta train in the MMA as well. So our fight's nice and fair. Strange thinking. Don't we all have strange thinking? I believe we do. I really do. Why emotional mood today? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of lack of sleep. I don't know. Like, I only did a light walk instead of going like real heavy at the gym. Like, I just went for a light walk around. I'm thinking because, I don't know, maybe I spend too much time watching TV. Catching up on Barky and stuff like that. When I could have been catching up on business. I don't know. I think it's just one of those days. Yeah, system error. It's just a glitch. Don't worry. We'll reboot. We reboot. That's what sleep's all about. We reboot and start better tomorrow. Gotta restart the system. That's all it is. That's right. You're right. It's a system error. It's actually a good way of looking at it. Have you heard about this shit about... Oh, they say there's all this trauma. The factory reset button. You just... Bang. You just say that to people at the gym. Say, guys, please knock me out. Give me the factory reset. I'm not feeling good. Choke me out, brother. Did you hear this shit about stored trauma in the body? What is that? What is this? What is this stupid fucking thinking? stored trauma in the body. The idea that trauma is stored in the body means that emotional pain alters your nervous system. It gets physically expressed as chronic muscle tension, digestive, overactive fight or flight response rather than just being a mental memory. So what you're saying is you got PTSD. Is that what they're calling PTSD now? Stored trauma in the body. Fucking hippies. What a hippie thing to say. You know what it is? It's just the stored trauma in the body, man. That's what it is. It's not that you had some traumatic event that just fucked with your head a little bit and you just gotta get over it. It's stored trauma in the body and you gotta release it. You gotta release it by going, ah, like a fucking whack job. The button place inside arseholes. You need to put your hand to press button. Fuck. Crazy Kushtal. That's the wild quote of the day from you, my friend. Just fucking finger your asshole and that'll reset your system, will it? You crazy bastard. Have you tried it? Did you go lube? Did you get olive oil? Did you go dry? You need help to press button. You can't do it yourself. So you just need your prostate checked, is that what you're saying? Before they do blood tests, you say, no, I insist you put the glove on. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. It's the only real way to know. They're like, what do you mean? You're not due for a prostate check. Alright, I need you to do a factory reset on me, okay? What? They're going to be real confused when I say that. If ever there's a person, I said, do you do prostate exams? Oh, no, we don't do that. Like, I insist. Some people do insist. They're like, nah. I need the little Asian lady with her little hand to play around.
Just the blood test.
No, but there's some guys who insist. They're like, no, put the glove on.
They don't even do that anymore.
No, but I'm saying they say, no, put the glove on.
And she says, get the fuck out.
She says, no, here's $100.
Pull out that machine they use on women.
You need help, yeah. The machine they use on women.
That goes in.
Oh my god. It's like the alien. Fucking scary, mate.
Oh.
You try reset. I'll go to sleep. I'll just have a little nap, mate. You watch, that's how I reset. You can shove whatever you want up your ass. I'm just gonna lay down and go to bed. Each to their own though. If that works for you, like whatever works for you, like you do that, mate, you know, but I'm gonna do what works for me, which is usually just like, this is the thing when you have a big day or you have a shitty day. It'll end and the next day will come and it'll be alright. It'll be okay. My mind is thinking crazy today. I agree. Everything's centered around holes, mate. Your factory resets, the black holes. Don't know about computer programming. Somehow we've linked the two together there. My god, you've been smoking, Kushtab. Been thinking some crazy stuff. My mind is drinking, not me. What do you mean? My mind is drinking, not me. What's your mind drinking? Oh. Your mind is drinking alcohol, not you. You just pour it straight in your ears. But I never tried drinking. What do you think? Should I try it? Nah. I think it's a good thing to never drink alcohol, to be honest. I think be the rare few. Be in that rare percentage of people that stay away from it. And keep your brain intact. You're not missing much. Not really. Like, I don't know, I think maybe the more I'm drinking, the more I don't even want to drink. But then again, oh, that's just because of the mood I'm in. I don't like drinking when I'm in a bad mood. Beer is alcohol. Yeah. If it's got alcohol in it, then it's alcoholic. Yeah, there's non-alcoholic beer, I think. It's not real beer. I don't know, but beer is alcohol, yeah. Of course. Milk. Nah, only eggnog. Normal milk is good. Drink milk. Breast milk is best.
I don't think they have anything that comes from cow.
What about goats? You have goat milk, eh?
Do they have cow's milk? How does that work over there?
Can you drink cow's milk, Kushtab? You allowed to do that? I know you can't eat like beef, but can you drink the milk? Yeah, I can, but I don't drink. I like buffalo milk. Ugh. Fuck, that got me. Buffalo milk. Can you buy that from Coles? What is this? Coles generally does not stock raw or liquid buffalo milk. Instead, their dairy aisles feature a premium section of Australian-made buffalo milk cheeses.
What the fuck?
What is this?
I didn't know.
Giorgio's Artisan Cheese Buffalo Mozzarella, and Nats Amore Buffalo Bocconcini.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Didn't even know that.
I'm not joking, I really like buffalo milk. First I thought you meant bull's milk. Sorry, I thought that for a second. I realised, oh no, buffaloes have females, don't they? They must. Ugh.
Oh.
Buffalo milk is heavy milk, and cow's milk is so thin like water, and human milk more thin than cows. You really are crazy tonight, mate. It's wild. Oh, I could shove. I'm gonna go reset. And no, I'm not shoving anything up my ass. I'm gonna go the old-fashioned way and go lay down. Anyway, love you, brother. You stay magnificent. Thanks for the chat, bro. I appreciate it. Always. You've entertained me. You've given me a laugh. It's good. Alrighty, brother. Stay magnificent. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I'll be back tomorrow. You know that. Always on. Day 89 tomorrow. We're gonna be on it. We're gonna be productive. We're not gonna be feeling so sappy and shitty tomorrow. We're gonna be fucking pumped, mate. That's what we're gonna do. Get a good session, couple of sessions at the gym. Get a good weight session in. Get a good fucking session in, and we'll be happy days. Take care, brother. Bye bye.